Hi, everybody. Good afternoon or good morning, depending where you are. Welcome to Fibromyalgia Association Canada's first ever Let's Talk About Food with Trudy and Anne. It's so nice to have you here with us today. This presentation is being recorded for FACT's newly launched YouTube channel, which is now available. And I will put the link in the chat in just a minute. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional and unceded territory of Indigenous people across Canada, including First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We honor their connection to the land and are committed to fostering respectful and meaningful relationships with all Indigenous communities. I acknowledge and give thanks to the land on which I live and work and to the people who have cared for it. So my name is Trudy Flynn. I am the chair of the board of directors at Fibromyalgia Association Canada, or FAC as we like to call it. So before we get started, I just want to say that Let's Talk About Food is for informational and educational purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice or consultations with your healthcare professionals. We are not doctors and are speaking from our own experiences. Remember, everyone with fibromyalgia is different, and different treatments and self-care methods will work differently for each of us. Always consult with your doctor for personalized medical advice. Never disregard or delay seeking professional medical advice or treatment because of something you've heard here. So I would like to introduce our guest today. I want to get right to it because this is such an interesting topic. Anne Beaulieu, who lives with fibromyalgia and who is a very valuable member of FAC and sits on every FAC committee. Anne is a certified holistic naturopath who lives in Quebec. Anne's work focuses on helping women who live with fibromyalgia. Anne has studied integrative nutrition, and Anne's work also includes eating healthy to help live a good life with fibromyalgia. And I don't know if I said Anne has fibromyalgia. I just want to stress that point. And I'm so excited to be talking with you today because I really believe that you are what you eat. So let's get right to it and let's talk about food.
We are also, Trudy, we are what the food we eat eats. Now
Yes.
put that around your brain. So
I understand that, Anne, because I have to eat very specific eggs because I'm allergic to fish, and I have to make sure that they don't feed their chickens fish meal, that it has to be flaxseed or free range because, yeah, we are what our food
yeah,
eats.
of course. And well, thank you for the opportunity. I'm really, really excited, as you know, because we see each other in communities. I get excited when I talk about food or just getting better, feeling better. Actually, I will just say this about my way to be finding myself to do what I do today is because I was extremely sick, going in a wheelchair because of fibromyalgia. So there was nothing the doctors could do with me anymore. So, after being through a little pity party with myself and oh, poor me, I sort of like said, oh, wait, I don't need to believe the doctor, even if he is a specialist, even if he is good. I maybe I can do something. So this got me going to what I do today after almost 7 years now, and I am still learning. So I'm glad you mentioned that disclaimer about food, and we are not about food, but us not being doctors and reaching out to your caretaker, your doctor, or whoever helps you, because just remember what I'm going to share today is general information, but I'm trying to put it in a way that it's very comprehensive for everybody. And you can learn to work with food, have food work for you, right? Not against you. In order to talk about food, I really need to talk about why do we eat? So, if anybody wants to answer that question, there is no wrong question. answer. Sorry. There's no wrong answer, but it is a question that we need to think about, because you'll see as I go forward why food is so important for energy. Hey, this girl has been doing her studies. Thank you, Cherry, for energy. Well, actually, yeah, to fuel our body. I love the answers. Yes. So you're wise women, or I don't know if there's a man on here. I don't think so.
Nope.
But
Wise women.
what wise people? Let's say it this way. Yes, we do. We do have a lot of how do you say that? Rituals or things we think about when we think about food, like family, reunion, parties, celebrating, and it's just plain good to eat food, right? You get a good, oh, I feel good. This makes me like, oh, I love this. So, and our taste buds, comfort, I like that. Yeah, we do find a lot of comfort in food. But actually, all those reasons are very, very, very nice. The ones I just you said, like it can be all true, and they are all true. But the main reason we eat is for energy. Food equals energy, but not always. So we'll get to that one later. But what I want you to know is when you eat something, your main thought, I would like you to remember, why am I eating this? Because my lips like it, because it tastes so damn good, or because, oh, I need energy. My body is not functioning well. So, what does it mean to have energy? Well, everything that ticks in your body, your heart, your lungs, everything that needs a tick tock and keeps the homeostasis in your body. Homeostasis just means that everything is working at the same time and all one behind the other, or working together. So if you're not eating food that is giving you energy, you're probably eating food that's making you sick or really not helping you. So food is energy, and it governs your alarm clock of everything in your body. So I hope this is very comprehensive. If not, please tell me in the chat, and I'll try to simplify it even more. Because your body, what it actually does is it transforms the food that you're eating to make it power for your cells. So you're eating, you get energy, it transforms it, and it puts it into your cell, which gives you, hey, I can do this. Yes, I can go. I feel good. Or, oh, geez, I gotta go lay down. I just ate something and I'm so freaking tired. I don't know why. Well, that's where food is so important. Now, I just want to specify that although I am a fanatic of helping people learn to find what foods are helping them, what are not helping, and I also need to say that food is not the only thing. There are other life factors that we need to implement, but food is definitely the foundation of many, many, many health problems. So why is this going on? Is that it's called metabolic health. I don't know. Has anybody ever heard about metabolic health before, or is this like, oh, what is she talking about? Metabolic health is really important, and this is what sustains the energy in your cells, and it can do its work in every part of your body. So if your metabolic system is not working well, this means that your cells cannot get the energy. Like, okay, this is food. It's been chopped up in little pieces and really, really minuscule molecules that your eye probably can't see. And then it's like going into your cell. But if your cell is like this, there's no food going in, right? So that is called metabolic syndrome. It's not good. It's a bad metabolic syndrome. This is when you develop things like heart disease, hypertension, diabetics type 2, right? Because your cell needs to have space in it for the energy to go in the cell and do the work it needs to go for your liver, for your heart, for your pancreas, for giving you energy, all of that. So also remember that if it's not working, whatever you're eating, even if it's, well, let's say it cannot distribute the energy to your cell. So what happens is it needs to cleanse this up. This residue needs to go somewhere. And most of the time it might be just staying in your system or traveling in your blood system. So this is where we get the inflammation, mostly from ultra processed food. So we'll get there. So why does metabolic health have something to do with food? Well, because if you have a healthy metabolic, you'll be really getting energy from your food. But if you're eating like a lot of ultra processed food or things that your body doesn't really receive well, then you're developing health problems silently, because you can't see these little bugs or these cells that are working for you or against you. This means that your body, if you have like a problem with metabolic health, if your doctor tells you and your metabolic health is not good, well, this means that my cells are not absorbing the food nutrition and it cannot do the work it's supposed to do. So no matter how good I eat, if no matter how good I try, if I'm not eating the right things to get me in metabolic health and stopping what's causing this, I'll probably have the same systems and they'll probably get worse. So this
Can
is
I ask, Anne, what do you consider ultra processed foods?
well, ultra processed foods are really foods that most of us all love, like pizza, like, fries that have been fried in canola oil, which is not the best oil. I'll say it like that. The fast food, everything you buy that is fast food is considered processed food. Also, I would say, really just look at the labels. If you're buying things that are already made, most probably there's a long list of ingredients that you just can't eat on themselves alone. And there are like preservatives, additives, chemicals for life shelf, and these basically everything on a grocery store. Deli meal. Yes, a lot of people don't think about this, but when you buy deli to make your sandwiches, there are some that are better than other. There are some more and more you'll find it in the health stores or even at a store, normal store, where the meat is preserved like with vinegar and spices. So that is much better. You go for those, much better. And I completely understand that having fibro, some of us having work or children or things to do, buying food that's already done and I just need to put in the oven is so enchanting. But then again, my question for you would be, is this giving you energy? There are not many processed food, ultra processed food that do. Make it easier.
That is a great word, enchanting. That's
Yeah.
a very good word.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we all get I think we understand now that why we eat is for energy, and the metabolic problem can be really, how do you say that? Nefast. It's not very good for people that have already a problem with assimilating their food. I just want to let's put in here like something personal. I lived, and I did have like at a moment a crisis where I was eating really good stuff, and I had a holistic doctor following me. We had tests done, and they came back, and it showed I had metabolic problems, and that was because I was not assimilating anything. I mean, absolutely anything. I was lacking every uh, mineral, vitamins, you name it. I mean, he couldn't figure out how I was even able to do everything I was doing. So there's
Is
that.
that is that because of IBS? Was it just passing through you and so you weren't digesting it?
Good question. Yes, I had IBS and I also had leaky gut, which is
Yes.
another
Mhm.
um another time we can talk about, but that affects your metabolic health. So don't get discouraged. The main point here is I want to say, if you want to build a healthy lifestyle, a healthy metabolic syndrome, it takes time. You won't do this in a week, nor in a month, nor in 3. It might take you 6 months to a year and more. It depends. If you've been like eating a certain way for a long time, there's a lot of things your body needs to heal and get rid of. But that's another subject. So what I will go through now is I want everybody understands what metabolic syndrome is, and some people call it also the powerhouse of cells, because that's what it does, right? It gets your cells going. It gets the food is converted into your mitochondria. Mitochondria is what they call that cell. So when you have a good metabolic health, your mitochondria is converting your food. So I know it's a lot of words to explain, but I think when we don't understand why we're eating, we're just going to continue doing what we've always done. Not before I start talking about which foods to incorporate in your life that are generally good for everybody. Thank you, Shelley, for the response. I want to say that when you're trying to change something in your eating habits, don't change everything all at once, because it's hard to be sustainable when we do that. Just go one step at a time and implement something new once what you've already implemented is really in the foundation. And also, I can't talk about food before talking about this. It's like this is, I don't know, am I the only one? And I've been going to school for a while now and I'm still studying, but am I the only one that is like sometimes all mixed up, because I'm getting confusing signals? One doctor, and he's a good doctor, a holistic doctor, writes a book and talks about this kind of way to eat, which is like in hype and everybody wants to do it and jump on the bandwagon. And then I read another book a month later and, oh, this doctor's telling me something else. So I'm like confused. And I'm thinking, and this is where the idea came. Yes, because there is a lot of conflicting information. And after Trudy and I talked, I said, sometimes even as a naturopath and some different certifications with food that I've done, I'm like, oh, how can people get their mind around what am I supposed to eat to get better? Do eat this, do not eat that. And then a week later, it's like it's switched sides. So I think we really need to learn to listen to our bodies. Now get this. This is very important. No matter what I tell you today, you might eat something I said was good, and you might not, your body might really not like it. And it could even make you have diarrhea, upset stomach, or something like that, a symptom. What that tells me and should tell you is that when you eat something and you get symptoms, that's the way your body speaks to you. Symptoms are your body telling you, please don't eat this anymore. Please don't feed me with this. I cannot do anything with it for X reason. Some people have allergies, some people have intolerances, which is quite different. Intolerances will not show up in something your doctor does. You'll never see that. An allergy, you will, but an intolerance can be, can make things very difficult when you're eating. It can, amplify a lot of your symptoms that are already there. So I think it's important to learn to listen to your body, and hopefully I'm not the only one that's like this, but living with fibromyalgia for over so many years, I've learned to live with pain, right? So pain is normal for me to a point. I really have to be in bad pain to go visit a doctor. So because it's normal, I've turned my switch off. I'm not listening to, I ate this and I had really big cramps and I had diarrhea like 1 or 2 hours after. I can shut that off quite easily, because that's just how my body's been trained for many years. So if I want to really learn to listen to my body, when I get these symptoms, I really need to say, this is not normal. It is not normal. Most people eat something and they do not go to the bathroom for like 4 times after an hour. If you do, there is a link. So take notes, really take notes. Food allergies and food intolerance will affect what I can and cannot eat. Yes.
Same with me. I have a lot of food allergies and probably twice as many intolerances. I don't have a good relationship with food, Anne, I have to tell you. I'm not metabolically healthy. I know I'm not. And I have all those books in my house. Everywhere you go, there's a different person saying, eat this, eat that, eat this. I've tried keto, I've tried paleo, I've tried it all, and nothing has nothing has helped, really. I'll be honest with. And it's not that I'm overweight, because I'm not, but I'm one of these people who eat and then I'm tired.
Yes.
So obviously I'm not, or I have IBS. And so I do not have a good relationship with food.
And I can understand. I was there for many, many years. And like I said, it takes a long time to get your microbiome back working like it should. And it's a lot of energy. I'm not going to lie. It's energy because energy, I mean, mentally, and you have to think and you have to cook. So nothing's free. I'm sorry. Nothing's free. It doesn't come naturally. But once you get it installed and your foundation and you're going better, you feel so much better. And you're learning that, yeah, it's not normal to be suffering because I ate something, or that my inflammation markers will go up crazy because I ate like a piece of bread. What's going on? That is really not normal. And that is a sign every time. But I would just suggest them. I mean, this is not in my notes, but I always tell that to my clients: have a dairy, you know, have a daily, just write in as soon as you get a symptom and make a link with what you ate. So this is going to help you, like, okay, I know every time I eat, let's say, yogurt, I'm on the bathroom like 1 hour later. Why? So every time you do it, you write it, your mind will, like, eventually wake up a little light bulb and tell you before you eat it. Do you really want to spend the day on the bathroom, uh, you know, having fun there alone? No. So, so Shelly says, this makes me think about my stomach yesterday. I totally went on it. It's okay. It's just fibro playing it because I did too much the past few days. And dismissed it could be food. No, it can be food. And reactions that come like really fast after food, sometimes we might say, oh, I was it poisoned. I something was rotten in what I ate. Not necessarily. It can be like, a bad relationship with the food you're eating. So I wanted to say all that because I will give you a list of foods that I recommend to most of my clients that we start eating, but don't start them all at the same time if you're not already eating these, because you might have problems. You might be going to the bathroom. So, of course, with people that have inflammation like us, we want to talk about omega-3s, which are really, really important. You want to be eating these foods. And I might say that if you can afford it, to find a good omega-3 where the ratio is balanced, it's important to have both. Omega-6 is one that produces inflammation. Omega-3 is the one that reduces. So did you get this? Omega-3 reduces, omega-6 will make inflammation. But sometimes we need inflammation in our bodies. Like you get a wound, you'll have inflammation, and that's a good thing because that's telling your body you need to repair or close the wound. This is how your body heals. It makes it go red and have inflammation. So it works like that inside also. But what gets like not normal is when your inflammation is like, oh yeah, always here, always here, always here. This becomes chronic inflammation. When omega-3s and 6 are well balanced, this will help you reduce. Why I don't recommend like taking only omega-6 is because we get enough of those in the ultra processed foods. So you don't need to be taking those. But most omega-3s come with a ratio that your body can use at the same time. So let's go with, if you're eating salmon, I would even tell you that if you're taking a good supplement of salmon, you do not need to have, if you, sorry, rewind. If you're eating salmon one day, don't take your supplements. You don't need them. Because salmon in itself, if you have a nice portion, is enough to give you the omega-3s that you need for the day. Why I'm talking about food and not supplement, it's that when you're starting off, I think even if you take supplements, because I've been through this and I I know it's true, you probably won't assimilate them. So you're better to start off with food. Unless you've got anemia or something like you're very sick, then I would see somebody to get good supplements, or your doctor, whoever you're working with. What is the ratio of omega-3 and 6 that is contained? I would have to go get my bottle. Usually it's like half. I think it's like 300 for the omega-3s, and then it would be like half for the omega-6. But
And what do you do if you're allergic to fish? Because that's one thing I have a problem with.
you can be eating seeds like hemp seeds. I don't know, you know what those
Hemp
are?
seeds? Yes, I do.
Very high in protein and a lot of good omegas. You can put that in
Okay.
your smoothie, you can put that in your salad, you can put it in a soup, you can make a spread with that. There's so many ways you can add it. Walnuts are great. I mean, walnuts, a few walnuts a day, and you're getting a good like a good ratio of it. Then there's chia seeds. Am I saying that right in
Chia?
English? Yeah.
Chia?
Okay, chia seeds. So that's really good. And a new one I just found out is called basil seeds. And those are wild. I mean, really wild. I tried like making I do my chia pudding, and I said, oh, I'll do the same thing, but it was like so jelly, it's so thick. It was like it came out in a big ball, a lump. So be careful. Don't put too much at first. It's the same thing almost as chia seeds, but they're basil, basil. It does not taste like basil, but they are really, really high in protein, and even more nutritious than the actual chia seeds. You could get
So
those.
is basil the spice basil?
I think it is, but they take it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. They take it,
Okay.
the little grain just before. It's quite new. I recently heard a doctor talk about this, and I said, "Oh, I'll try it." I found it on Amazon. That's the only place I found it. But yeah, very good, really. So there. Oh, for other people that can have fish, I would have say the seeds from my garden this year. Yeah, maybe next year you can try it. So salmon, herring, anchovies, trout, all of which you can eat, oysters, sardines, really, really good. I'm trying to give you the best ones here that have omegas and that you can eat like, vary. Don't always eat the same thing. Sometimes I have clients that, well, I'm eating like this, what you told me every day. The best thing for your microbiome to be healthy is to have a lot of variation. Don't be always eating the same things. Am I the only one who does that?
No, I do that all the time.
Yes, we go to our go-to thing,
Yes.
and we know it works and everybody likes it. But, try to add in a little bit more greens or things like this. So you have to change it up. It's like doing the same thing. If you have kids or a husband, you always say the same things, you always do the same things. You have a feeling somewhere somebody's not listening. It's the person, right? They've heard it so many times. It's like, oh, I know, I know, I know. So this is what food does in our body. I'm just like trying to give you a picture frame here that if you're giving it all the same thing, the bacteria are always the same one. So they're like, oh, everything stays the same, or it gets worse. When you're bringing a new element, oh, they get like, oh, whoa, what's this bad? We don't know this microbiome. We don't know this little microbiome thing here with mitochondria. We need to go see what it's doing for us, and your body gets excited. It's like a party. So cruciferous. I don't know if I said that right. Cruciferous.
Close
Yeah.
enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
vegetables, which means they're the cabbage family. So cabbage, of course. I mean, you can eat it raw, you can eat it in a salad, you can eat it cooked. There are so many things you can do with that. And at this time of the year here in Quebec, you can get as many as you want at a really, really cheap price. Brussels sprouts, kale, broccoli, cauliflower are the main one that your body, there's also radish. I didn't know came under that kind of vegetable, but it does, and turnip that you could add. So adding these to your everyday cooking or lifestyle, or not lifestyle, but the way you prepare your meals, you know. I sometimes eat sauerkraut, eggs, and avocado in the morning. So you might be thinking, why are you eating that in the morning? Because my body goes really wild. My bacteria are so happy. And this is like you have not eaten anything usually for at least 12 hours. And then you give your body, I don't know, a nice chocolate croissant. Now that your body just has no idea what it's supposed to do with it. So that is not going to be energy to start your day. Start your day off with half an avocado, an egg, cooked how you want, or 2 eggs even, because 1 egg is not enough proteins, but at least 2. And then you add some sauerkraut. You have the happiest microbiome. Can you just imagine all those little smiley faces? Because they're going to use all that energy, and you will have a lot more clarity. You will be like, oh, I feel good. I have energy. What's wrong with me this morning? Yeah, that's what we think at first. What's going on? What did, you know? And it really helps to start your intestines doing their work, like that peristaltic and moving what needs to get out and getting all that good stuff in your cells for energy. Because we don't think about this, but you've been asleep like maybe 8 hours, 9 hours, and you haven't eaten for 12 to 13 hours. It's really important. How do we reduce the bloating and the gas that came with Christopher? You could cook those at least till el dente. Now, don't overcook them because mushy is not nice. That's why kids do not like vegetables. Just saying it. Most kids hate vegetables because we as parents have overcooked them. We made like mushy stuff with it. It's almost like you can drink it. So if you, first of all, you will need Lucy to look at why you're bloating. Maybe you've got underlying issues there going on that are in your gut that are not helping. And I'm just throwing this out, like, I'm not saying you got this, but it could be anything from, too much one kind of bacteria that is like overtaking the, I don't know how to say, le terrain, mais, the ground, okay? It's taking over your microbiome, which will cause things like that. Might be also just that you need to break down a bit the fibers. So when you bleach it or you cook it just to el dente, it already starts the breaking down of the fibers and what's in it. And that makes it very much easier for your digestive system to work with it, and it many times will at least, if not eliminate, will reduce the bloating. So hope that helps you. So these legumes that I talked about, these vegetables, sorry, not legumes, are very high in fiber, and that is also why we bloat. Many times I've read in the book, in different books, people are not eating fiber. Okay, so like right now I'm talking about fiber. I'm telling you how good it is. You're going to say, okay, I gotta eat more fiber. So if you're eating in a portion of a plate that's like this big, if you're eating like 1/4 or 1/8 or 1/16, like I know many people like 1 carrot, don't start like this afternoon and eat like 1/2 or 3/4 of all vegetables, because you will bloat. And it's perfectly normal because your body doesn't know what to do with all this stuff all of a sudden. You're giving him too much fiber. So you need to start slow and go Start low and go slow. Thank you, Shelley. So you see, you need to start slow because your body, as much as it needs the fiber and it wants it, if you're not drinking enough as you're taking a lot of fiber, it's gonna like cause you symptoms that you will not like bloating, and maybe even how do you say that in English? You know, I don't want to say the word. It's like it doesn't.
Yes.
Yes, gas. Yeah, and bleaching and all those things. Those are digestive issues that are so many times caused about because of either eating too much fiber or not being able to assimilate it because you haven't done it the wrong way. So start slowly and build up. It's like a muscle. You got to build it up. Once you get used to it, these symptoms all go away. So remember, we have like trillions of cells living in us. I mean, there's more little army people there living, not people, but cells living in us than outside of us. It's really insane. And this is what will determine like how you're going to feel, your mood, your longevity, if you're assimilating it or not. So it's really important. And I did say it, but I'm going to say it again. Try to ignore the diet philosophies if you learn and just focus on getting good, simple ingredient foods into your body, increasing one at a time. Okay. So I think another thing which I want to really talk about is after the crucifers. This is my French side, and that is not easy. What oils should we be taking or eating? Well, I personally think that avocado oil, coconut oil, olive oil, these are my three main drivers. I only cook and I only eat or put these in my salad dressings that I make because they are proven to be effective. I mean, if you look at the Mediterranean diet, olive oil is everywhere. And, according to which kind of quality, if you're buying extra refined, organic, or just olive oil, you'll get more out of it, whatever it is you're buying. I actually try to tell everyone, if you're going to eat a good olive oil, take one that is organic. Doesn't have to be the one at $50 a buy, but at bottle. Nobody can pay that, or well, not most of us. So they have put their prices up. Olives and olive oils, the price went up like giant. I don't know why. Must have had a problem with olives, or just inflammation. I don't know. But anyway, if you're cooking desserts or cookies, which I do want to make a difference, somebody might think, is this ultra processed since I put ingredients and then I cook them, and those are not called ultra processed food. They are processed foods because you took ingredients, you made a recipe, you cooked it. But if you're cooking at home, you should be aware of everything you're putting in. And I hope you're not putting like stabilizers or things like that, because you're eating them, right? You're going to eat them fast. Well, in the couple of days that are going to be there. But we do not consider that ultra processed food. That's if you're making a cake, unless you're like putting 4 cups of sugar, it's good. It's all good. So that's important. So I would like to go forward. Oh, I do also have ghee that I really love, but it's very expensive. So, it depends if you can afford it. Ghee is butter that's like been just heated to a certain point that takes out the lactose and takes out the things that can not help, clarify ghee. It's very, very good, and it's also gives a good taste, if you want to cook your eggs in it or something like that. So that's really the last one on my list, because I know not everybody can afford to buy that. I don't know where you live, but where I live, like a little thing of 250 grams maybe is like close to $20. So yeah, it's very expensive. So, but sometimes it's just nice to have it if you're eating
Mm.
like hot bread that you made or something. But you can dip it in olive oil also. Fermented foods is my next subject that I would like to share. I did speak about it also just a while ago with my breakfast, and I try to get fermented food in my 3 meals. But again, I didn't start off this way because if you have never taken or eaten, fermented foods, and you say, "Oh, I'm going to eat like kimchi. I'm going to eat sauerkraut, and I'm going to eat yogurt kefir." Okay, all at the same day, you will bloat. You will have bleaching problems, and your tummy will hurt because once again, that is too much good bacteria you're getting into your body all at once. So you need to go. I always say like one tablespoon maximum of sauerkraut if you never eaten that before, and then wait, see what your body how it reacts, and then maybe the next day you can add just a little bit and move on. So once your body has identified those good bacteria and they love it, they thrive on that. And when I talk about fermented, I don't mean the ones that are like um, pickles with the vinegar. That is not fermented. That's it's the vinegar that made it look like fermented. I'm talking it's only water and salt. Yeah, that's preserved, right? So when it's, but it can be conflicted. You might see fermented and it's vinegar. So, that's what we call marketing. So, yeah.
Do you know what? I have fallen for that marketing, actually. I have, yeah, and I have an issue with vinegar. And so I got really sick when I ate what I thought was fermented food. And I fell for the fermented label. And then when I looked at it and realized there was vinegar in it, I realized why I got sick. But that's really turned me off fermented food.
Hmm. But it's really important, once again, we could have another talk just about reading labels. I mean,
Yes.
you almost need a diploma to read though, because words you don't understand, sometimes you won't acknowledge. You just like, it seems okay, but it might be that ingredient that will make you sick. Okay?
Mhm.
um and yeah, it's not the same thing. The fact that it's just salt with the ingredient of vegetable or whatever, you can do it, with onions. If you want any vegetable, you can do that. You just let it sit, check for no green on it and things like that. So if it will start bubbling in 2 days. It's like all over you got to put a plate under it because it's overflowing. A bit like sourdough bread when you make it home. It's this big, and you wake up the next morning, and whoa, and it's all going all over side. That is real fermentation, and that is the kind that your body loves, those little bugs, and he's looking for them. So some people take them, we call probiotics. Those are happy bugs. I call them happy bugs, but you can eat them, and it's much better because there's all that digestive system going through it and assimilating it, which is always better than just taking a supplement. I have nothing against supplement. I do take some, but I take the minimum because I'm trying to get it in what I eat. So water, kefir water, if everybody knows what that is, just like drinking a glass of that a day, just to start off with, could be nice. Kombucha, now you got to be careful. Kombucha, some are very, very high in sugar, and it's normal that they have sugar because that's how to get the bacteria going to ferment. But look at your labels. I mean, try to stay under 2 grams of sugar to get, if you want it to be beneficial. You don't want to be absorbing the sugar, just the good bugs. So kombucha, miso, kimchi, tempeh, those are all like you can have any fermented vegetable. You can do them yourself if you want, but like I said, not the way you buy the ones with the vinegar. So I think time is flying by. So I would go next with proteins. If anybody has questions, please just let me know. I'll try to look to see. Mhm.
keeping an eye on the chat. So,
Okay, thank you. So proteins is what we call an indispensable macronutrients. Now, macronutrients is a big word just to say that there's three kinds: fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. Those are the three macronutrients your body needs. So protein is, whether you're vegetarian, whether you're carnivore, whatever you're eating, I would suggest once again to vary. Try, try eating like a vegetable meal one time in the day, and then maybe the next day you can try eating vegetarian with tofu or something like that, if your body can take it. You got to experiment with food, and once you know which ones your body like really hates, don't eat it for a while. Just put it aside. You can that's just your body telling you, for now, I can't take this. Doesn't mean it's for always, unless it's an allergy. That means it's probably a big intolerance at this moment because you have XX problem with other issues in your body and inflammation, of course. So you can get a full protein with meat, chicken, I mean, lamb, beef, whatever your choice. You get it also through fish and seafood, dairy products if you don't have problems, and eggs. Come back to eggs again because eggs are full of choline, which you need and is good. Very, very good if you can take eggs. If you can't, most probably not good for you. Legumes, which I mean like beans, chickpeas, things like that. That's another thing. If you're not eating those right, actually at this moment, go very slow because they can also give you like digestive issues. Nuts and seeds. I have nuts and seeds every day. Every day. I take every day at least 3 of those Brazilian nuts just because I get a lot of good vitamins in there, minerals. So, yeah. And it only takes 3. So, there you
I
go.
was just going to ask you actually, I like almonds. Is there such a thing as too much?
Yes. Yes, there is such a thing because also is when you're always eating the same thing, your body gets used to it. So the minute you're going to try to give him something, he will react. Their body's going to react, or he or she will react. uh, I'm not worried too much about the fats. Fats, ultra processed, that ultra processed products, that I worry about fat. But when we're talking about nuts and seeds, I mean, I eat quite a lot, but I vary them a lot. Of course, if you're
Yeah.
eating 1 cup of almonds like 3 times a day, wait, that is way too much fat. Yeah, so Sherry would be right. But how much do you eat? Let's just play with this.
Okay. Honestly, I have a third of a cup with my oatmeal in the morning, and then I snack on them all day.
Okay, that's too much.
I know.
Okay, that's too much. And also I would say maybe you could like take 15 almonds in the morning with you, and then the rest of the day, is there another nut you like?
Well, I have a lot of allergies, so
Okay. Maybe that's why you're more. Have you tried macadamia nuts?
yes,
Macadamia.
I like macadamias.
Okay, those are really low in glycemic and carbohydrate. So, if you have a tendency to type 2 diabetics, anybody here, those are the nuts you want to be eating. And you can leave at least 15 to 20 a day, no problem. And they're so yummy. Yes, I love those. So, and I would say soya products for proteins, if you eat some, make sure to get organic. I won't go into why because time is running, but you really want to have organic. So I think I would say the takeaway from our talk today is try to cut on refined sugar. So what is refined sugar? Sucrose, all that sugar. Yeah, sugar. So everything that is made with ultra processed that you're buying that is cooked, and even those meals that you're buying, there are sometimes 3 types of sugars in those plates. So that's sugar, and that's fat, and that's not good. because they're not the right sugars and they're not the right fat. So they're making you sick. So be careful for the refined sugars. Also, I would say refined vegetables oil, like we talked about, and seed oils. Standing O's. Yes, any word on the, yes, okay. All the O's are just like fructose, cellulose. Those are sugars, dextrose. Yes, they are sugars. They still are. There are some like erythritol and monk fruit. I cook with those now because I have a problem with my glycemia and I need to bring it down. So those are the only two I cook with. But usually when I didn't have this problem, this came with menopause, post-menopause. So just telling you, beware. That's a complete other subject. Monk fruit is so tasty. Yes, you don't need to put a lot. And the more you take away refined sugar, the less you need to add some when you're cooking, right? So if it says like a half a cup of white sugar, just reduce it. Put half a cup of monk fruit, erythritol fruit. At first, you'll find that it's not quite as tasty, not quite as sugary, but that's good because your taste buds are used to the taste and they want the sugar. But then when you mix it up with a protein and a fat, it really helps your brain to be satisfied. So eating a muffin that you made with monk fruit, I think brings on another kind of level to your eating habits. If you don't have a problem with diabetics, type 2 or whatever, you could be using coconut sugar is really good because it has really a lot of minerals in it and it's really a good taste. I sometimes now use that when they're asking for brown sugar. I substitute it with, and it's really good for you. So that is one of the good ones that I always keep, for those that aren't in need of cutting out all sugar.
Can you
So
say that again? What is that instead of brown sugar?
coconut sugar. It's called coconut.
Coconut sugar.
Made
Okay.
out of coconut.
And I'll
So
be honest with you, I've never heard of monk fruit before.
okay. Well,
Where
that's
do I find that?
you can find that it is, well, if you have a Costco, you can find
At
that.
the store. Sherry, at the store, yes. We
Most
do have a Costco. We do have a Costco.
you can find it there. It's it's she says it's there, I promise. Thank you. She's a, so I think you can find, yeah, I don't think, I know you can find it there, and it's a
Okay.
mix of both monk fruit and erythritol. So
Okay. And someone asked about beet sugar,
beet sugar, no.
beet sugar.
No beet sugar. That's real, really big sugar time. Yeah, all those. I think there's a list about over 50 kinds of sugars that they put in ultra processed food. Anyway, that's another subject. But I want to give you little hacks there that you can, like, add-ons to help you. So I hope this was helpful. I know it's a lot of information, and we have 3 minutes left. um,
It's
yes.
being recorded so we can watch it over and over again.
Okay. So I want you to remember this rule of thumb that is like a game changer for your glycemia. So if you get hungry, first of all, I want to say if you get hungry in between your meals, that's because you did not eat enough, first of all. And you probably did not eat enough proteins. Okay. Proteins are what makes you satiety.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yep.
full. So
Yes.
that is very important. Always remember this rule: fat, fiber, carbohydrates. Never eat carbohydrates alone. So, you want to eat an apple? Do not eat it alone. Because all it will do is make your blood sugar go way high. And how do I know this? Because I take my blood and I test the things that I eat. I ate an apple, and 3 hours later, I ate an apple in a salad. Okay, I have diabetes types 2, but anyway, it's not normal. So test yourself. I ate a salad with an apple, and 3 hours later I was still at 8.5, which is like way too high. Way too high. So that tells
Yes.
me that my body is not friends with glucose. I have an intolerance problem. But, don't wait till you know this to test yourself if you want, because this is how you can prevent. So now I know, if I eat an apple, there has to be a fat and there has to be also a protein. So how could I do that? Eat an apple in the middle of the day if I'm like really hungry? Well, I put peanut butter and I dip it in it. So I've got fat in my peanut butter, and I've got carbohydrates in my apple and fiber in my apple. So yes, leave the skin, but wash it very carefully, because the skin is where you find a lot of the goodies, and most people take it off. So that's just one trick. It can be celery with a piece of cheese. I mean, a really cheese with a high level of fats, which people are afraid, especially women, of fat, but not eating fat makes you fat. Not eating fat makes you fat. Your body needs fat. It really does. And yeah. That's why you're a smart mom. So, okay, the next little bullet that you can remember is do not eat 3 hours before going to bed. Now, why is this? Because if you do eat, you won't sleep well. First of all, you will not sleep well. If you eat and you go to bed 1 or 2 hours after, what's your body going to be doing while you're eating? Instead of cleaning up your brain, and which it does, and cleaning up the rest of things in your body, it's going to be working on the digestion. And you're on this position, right? You're sleeping. So it's very hard for your body. So it's going to struggle all night, and it's going to work on you getting to digest. And when you wake up in the morning, I would say, Sheila, 3 even to 4 hours. Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I stop eating at 6 and I go to bed at 10. So and I go to bed and I'm hungry sometimes, but I tell my brain, nope, we ate tomorrow morning. And you get used to it. And well, hungry is a big word. I get these little pangs because we actually, not many of us go hungry. So at 3 is the minimum. Yeah, you get the munchies because you've trained your brain to eat every time it tells you, I'm hungry. And sometimes it's only because you're dehydrated. So drink some water and it'll go away. So I would say the last one I want to is avoid, drinking things that are sugar, like juices, frappe cappuccinos. If you go to a restaurant or anywhere they sell them, all of it is not good fat and a lot of calories with a lot of sugar. So, get your sugar another way. If you can walk 10 minutes after every meal, they say that this helps to reduce 30% of the glucose you ate in that meal. Now that, ladies, is very interesting. And if you can't walk 10 minutes because you're hurting too much, just go 2 minutes and, slowly but surely you'll pick it up energy and you'll start feeling better and you'll be able to do that 10 minutes. So I don't know if you've heard about this crave about vinegar. I've been a septic, but I'm doing it right now and it does work. So it needs to be apple cider vinegar, and it helps to lower your glucose, and it also helps you to reduce in healthy people 50% of the meal that's coming in glucose. Now there's a book out there called the Glucose. She's called, I don't know I think it's called Glucose Goddess. I have it. How much in a glass of water? They say 1 to 2 tablespoons. For me personally, 2 tablespoons is like, oh, no, I can't go. Not now. So 1 tablespoon, and I put it in about 8 ounces of temperature water, and I drink it. You can do it with a straw if you want to keep the teeth there. So those are like just simple things, but I've noticed that when I do take my vinegar, because I take my blood test, my glucose is almost perfect. So it really does work, vinegar, on me. So what you need to do is try it for yourself, see if it works. But honestly, they have a lot of this is a hype going around, but it's been a hype now for 3 years. And every new book I buy, we're still talking about add in vinegar. So some say every meal. I can't do every meal. So personally, I do it when I get up and one before I go to bed. So I'm thinking it's helping me, and I'm doing it the way my body can take it. So I want to leave you all the with this as a final word, that what I said today might not all apply to you. Just take and pick what your body needs at this moment, and work with that, and then move forward. But please don't forget why we eat, why it's energy, and what kind of energy you want. Do you want the energy that gives you the good energy that you can do a day and have like, oh, I feel so great, or the one that's bringing you down, which is called low energy, none or low? And that is it has a lot to do with your food, your food intake, what the quality of it, and also the rest of your lifestyle. But you know, we don't have time for that today. So if you have any questions, you can write them down. I'll try to, go back. Do we see the comments on YouTube?
Yes, we can. Yep, we
Okay,
can
so I'm
put them.
there, and like
Yeah.
answer Sherry's question on the omega 3s and 6. Okay, great, great. Well, I have.
Thank you, Anne. I I have to say I am guilty of, I've learned a lot. Thank you very much. And I'm guilty of eating the same thing over and over. And I think I've done that even when I was a kid, like my mom, unlike Sherry's mother there. I did not vary my diet. It's like meat and potatoes and the same thing for breakfast every day, same thing for lunch, same thing over and over and over. And so I don't know that I've ever really had a healthy relationship with food. And it's not that I'm anorexic or anything like that. It's not. It's just that I think I have that malabsorption thing going because I don't vary my food enough. And I think I'm eating healthy. I mean, what's healthier than oatmeal, right? So, but
Oatmeal.
every day it's probably not.
Well, I just want to say, Trudy, that oatmeal is very high in glucose. Extremely.
Yes.
It's one of
Yes,
the.
it is.
So maybe rethink about starting a day with a lot of glucose like that.
Yep. Yes, it is. So,
Even if.
anyway, greatly appreciate this. We need to do it again, and maybe we can move on from here to the next phase. I have a healthy lifestyle. I exercise lots. I try to make sure I get lots of sleep, but there are days I'm exhausted and I realize that it's probably related to my food. And I have a lot of intolerances, and I'm sure other people on here do because that subject was brought up. And maybe a lot of those are related to eating the same thing over and over again. So,
Yes, I just want to say that intolerances, we can do something with that. Allergies,
yes,
not much, because it's an
yeah,
allergy. Your body just recognizes as the enemy and wants to kill it right there, and it's killing you while it's doing it. So I'm just this is an image, but intolerances is your body's just not taking in well at that moment, but it's also like there's an underlying issue under that intolerance. This is what we need to find. So I'm very glad that you invited me. I appreciate it. And well, I think you can see that I have a passion about food and helping people, because I think if I'm lost with all this information Dr. Google provides with everybody, knowing everything and being experts on everything, the only thing is, okay, but none of us are the same. Everybody reacts different. So you have to find a way to eat well, get your body to love what you're giving it, and make sure what you're giving it is good and makes you have more energy, not take it away from you. So I'm glad that you liked it. And thank you for being there for those that are live. And thank you for watching it when you'll be in the replay.
thank you. And thank you, Sherry, for putting the YouTube channel on there. So let's do this again, Anne. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.